Apple is quietly preparing one of the most disruptive Macs it has ever shipped, not because it's powerful, but because it's cheap. In 2026, Apple is expected to introduce an entirely new budget MacBook, a machine positioned below the MacBook Air and aimed squarely at price-sensitive buyers. The final name is still unclear, with leaks floating labels like MacBook, MacBook Mini, or MacBook SE. But what is clear is Apple's intent: bring macOS to a far lower entry price, likely starting around $599. This MacBook is not about reinvention, it's about smart reuse. Rather than spending money on a fresh chassis, Apple is expected to resurrect an older design. The strongest candidate is the ultra-thin 12-inch MacBook design first launched in 2015. That design failed back then because Intel chips ran hot, the butterfly keyboard was unreliable, and the hinge aged poorly, but the design itself was ahead of its time. Today, with Apple Silicon, fanless performance, and the Magic Keyboard, those old problems no longer apply. With modern internals, a fixed hinge, and a reliable keyboard, that once abandoned design suddenly makes sense again. That original MacBook featured a compact 12.8-inch display, slightly smaller than a 13-inch iPad Pro, making it portable, lightweight, and ideal for everyday tasks. The major compromise was I/O with only a single USB-C port. While that sounds unacceptable on paper, Apple may decide it's sufficient for the audience this machine targets. There is, however, a second design Apple could revive instead: the 2018 MacBook Air chassis, the one that later became famous for housing the first M1 chip. That design offers a larger 13.3-inch display, 2 USB-C ports, and a proven form factor that many users still love today. Apple could keep it unchanged externally and simply downgrade the silicon to hit a lower price point. And that brings us to the biggest leak: the chip. According to current reports, this MacBook is expected to use an A18 or A18 Pro chip, the same class of silicon used in the iPhone 16 lineup. The A18 Pro's single-core performance already exceeds the M1, and its multi-core performance is roughly on par. That level of power is more than enough for the users this MacBook is designed for. RAM is expected to start at either 8GB or 12GB, with storage likely beginning at 128GB, possibly 256GB if Apple feels generous. This is not a machine meant for heavy video editing, large AI models, or serious gaming. It's a basic everyday Mac meant to bring macOS, Apple Intelligence features, and Apple's ecosystem to a much wider audience. As for pricing and timing, leaks point to a launch window in spring 2026, sometime between February and May. Pricing is expected to land between $599 and $699, with Apple needing to stay well below MacBook Air pricing to justify its existence. If Apple gets this right, this could become the most important MacBook launch in years.